What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about Faraday future, tickers FFIE. Faraday's gone on a huge run over the last little bit. I want to go over some of the data points, talk on why it's running, and everything that you need to know. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right to it. So based on Friday, it did go up 7.9%. And based on this, over the last week alone, it's up 32%. So in comparison to any other EV, it's doing phenomenal. And of course, there's a lot of big money that is clearly buying it behind the scenes, as what you can see right here. So these are the latest transactions on the secondary market, over $100,000. And these are the latest round of 13F. So it is that time of season where a lot of institutions are disclosing their positions to the SEC. So a big name did come out and disclose it on the 14th, and that was good old Vanguard. So Vanguard did increase their position in Faraday by 126.22%, bringing it to a grand total of 25.1 million shares. So pretty substantial stuff. But despite a lot of the big money getting in and it rallying, a lot of the options activity is starting to look kind of evening out a little bit. So $26,000 in calls being purchased on Friday versus 24,000 in puts. So again, that's something just to watch. Is clearly there's a little bit more of an increase in puts. So maybe people are thinking that this might tire out potentially. But at the same time though, you do have shorts closing out some of their positions. So I'll give you guys a quick overview of that. So short score is currently 77, utilization is 93%, but shorts returned 1.53 million shares on Friday. Still 230.83 million shares overall are being shorted. So a small drop in the bucket was returned. But potentially, if this does continue on the same trend it is on, then you could very much see a very big margin call when it comes down to shorts. But of course, I'm not a financial advisor, so you guys always do your own due diligence. 17.92% of the free flow is being shorted, and cost to borrow average is 9.77%. So a lot of big money is very much getting in. Options activity kind of neutral in that regard, but based on this, you do see stochastic currently at 71, a very bullish sentiment behind the scenes, and the number of retail investors have been getting in, and you can tell that based on the momentum indicator. So on the actual chart itself, just to zoom in a little bit, I'll quickly go to more so the 5-day. So looking here, it did transition from the lower to the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band and is above the 50-day moving average as well. And looking at the volume, 59.42 million shares overall were traded on Friday versus 58.77. So a lot of eyes are on it. And like I've said in the past, there's a couple things upcoming. One of which is the shareholder meeting that I've already talked on a little bit in the past. So they recently did submit on Thursday, so the definitive 14A, so this is the final voting. And of course, what they did recently amend was their whole reverse stock split, how it's going to be keeping the authorized shares the same. So not necessarily the best, but I do feel for Faraday to really succeed, they need that extra dilution room. And some people are kind of impartial on dilution. I feel a company such as Faraday does need it. And what you really want to more importantly look at is, are they using that money efficiently? And based on everything that I can see, I do feel that Faraday is on point with kind of their spending and things like that. I could be wrong. I'm not a financial advisor, like I already said. So let me know you guys' thoughts on that. So this is coming up as well. They did previously state that phase 2 was pushed back to August. So I've been saying over the last couple of videos, you are most likely going to see a little bit more of a FOMO rally going up until that point, because that is going to be when operationally things kind of get very, very real. But when it comes to it though, it is very high based on the Fibonacci levels. So as you can see, with it being at 25.41 cents, it is between this S1 and the pivot. So 29.5 cents is that very next big resistance point that you need to watch for. But with it being so kind of a large gap per se, you're going to have a lot of volatility. So expect that going into next week. But 29 or almost 30 cents is something that you need to watch for. But like I've said, 30 cents, if it can easily get over that, it's going to have a huge amount of momentum, enough so that it is just going to topple over a lot of these resistance points very fast. Faraday does have a lot of good momentum behind the scenes, and when things go up, like I've said, things get very real very fast. But of course, I could be wrong. You're going to have a lot of shorts very much doubtful about any rally. So the fact that they did return 1.53 million shares on Friday, is kind of impressive, but maybe they were blown away by Vanguard increasing the position, because that kind of came out of left field, because all these transactions, not necessarily just with Vanguard, but a lot of the other institutions, all these transactions occurred in Q2. During Q2, things were kind of volatile. People started to once again start talking about inflation, worrying about interest rates, and also there was that big scare with banks. So I think right now for them to increase 126.22% is a pretty big deal. As well, it looks like right here, BlackRock funds, so the iShares Russell, they increased their position in Faraday by 503% as well. So that's a very good indication. Of course, a lot of these ETFs just roll up into the broader BlackRock when they eventually do disclose that, most likely either next week or the following week, similar to Vanguard's ETFs. But still, at the end of the day, BlackRock and Vanguard increasing their position in Faraday is a pretty big deal. But once again, let me know you guys' thoughts on Faraday in the comments below as well. This is the breakdown, like I said, as far as the definitive 14A. What's your guys' take on that? Is there anything that stood out to you that you are going to be voting no on, or what's your kind of take on that? And as well, do you agree that there's going to be a little bit more of a FOMO that leads up until August? And if so, how high do you think Faraday can actually get? So with all that said, I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully everyone's having an amazing weekend thus far. Don't forget to take advantage of free promos such as this. Link in the description below and also the comments. Sign up for a free account. You get 1 free stock. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Throw $100 at the account. You get 5 free stocks plus a $100 cash reward. This promo has been extended up until July the 16th. So take advantage of that while you can. Link in the description below and also the comments. With that said, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Faraday Future.